I know what it's like when you can't breathe. I have asthma, and respiratory disease runs in my family. Things are different now when it comes to treating asthma than when it was for my father or for me growing up. When I was a little girl and fighting to breathe, I thought I would never reach the age of 25. Well, I've lived beyond that age, and now my fight is for my children and my grandchildren, so they'll never have to worry about waiting to breathe. This is a story about my son's battle with lung disease. When my son was a baby, he was sick a lot. His colds would last a long time, which made it hard for him to eat, sleep, or breathe. As he grew, the visits to the doctor increased, and at that time no one would call what he had asthma. After each doctor's visit, I would feel frustrated and doubtful that the medications they gave me for his cold were not working for his breathing. The year my son turned 3, he got very sick. He was barely breathing and was hospitalized. I remember feeling helpless watching him laying still in the hospital bed. And I remember watching him struggle to breathe, trying to inhale and exhale for him. I remember waiting and waiting, and I remember praying. And then I remember the flood of relief that came when his cheeks turned pink and the sparkle in his eyes returned, how he stretched out his arms for me, and I remember holding him tight, never ever wanting to go through this again. That following year, my son was in and out of the doctor's office. I hated having to give him all those medications, and I remember feeling frustrated and helpless again from the lack of information I received, listening as one doctor saying one thing and a different one saying something else. In the battle of lung disease, education and medication are your ammunition. Over time, we finally found a doctor that gave me the information I needed and the right medications that my son needed. And there was an organization that listened to my concerns. Breathe, New Hampshire. Breathe New Hampshire's asthma education program teaches parents, child care, and school staff the tools they need to manage asthma. And one of the important things I learned was that our home was filled with things that were asthma triggers. With this information, I now know what his triggers are and ways to help him avoid them. With the right combination of medication and reducing his exposure to his asthma triggers, we finally got his asthma under control. This was a victory. We won this battle. Now that my son is older, he's able to monitor how well he's breathing. He carries his inhaler and we follow his treatment plan. His asthma doesn't stop him from doing the things he likes. It's just a part of him, like his eye color. And it doesn't define who he is. He just lives his life. Now my son is doing great. The future is looking much brighter for him and our next generation. Part of Breathe New Hampshire's mission is to improve the quality of life for those living with lung disease. With their help, they have educated residents of New Hampshire about asthma, how to manage it, and how to live the life you want. Breathe New Hampshire supports people with lung disease through education and advocacy, and that's why I support them, so my son and my grandchildren will never have to struggle waiting to breathe.